time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Brent Wallace alongside Graeme Nichols from the Hockey News, who's filling in for Jason York. By the way, Graeme, 3 more episodes of hosting, you get your name in the credits.
That's awesome. I'm in.
Yeah,
100%.
That's how it works.
All right. Perfect.
This show, as always, proudly presented to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. And not that you didn't do a bad job yesterday, but I'm told Jason York is on the line from probably his room at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Yorkie, are you there?
Everybody be quiet. This is an important putt here, Wally. Joe and I are playing for morning coffees. Oh, boy. Hold on, one more.
What?
There you go. All right.
Nice.
All right, we can get back down to what's going on here. You guys miss me?
How are you?
Good. I sound worse, and I'm actually doing much better. The man cold is just about over. Things are good here in Naples. Life's good. Weather's good.
Yeah.
Got some golf coming up on Friday, fellas. So it's looking for a nice little week up here.
Hopefully the Ebola will clear up soon. I know I don't have you long, Yorkie. I do have some questions we got to get to before I lose you. One, I know you guys are aware of this, but finally I got a sneak copy. As always, Graham's a Ottawa City firefighter. There's always a calendar that comes out every year. This year, there was a celebrity calendar, and so we have been gracious enough, and they gave us the cover of the calendar this year. Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
There it is.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Puppies are a good ad.
Yeah.
Wally, you've been working on your tan, eh? Your head doesn't really match your body, but that's pretty good. There's some Dalmatians in there. Oh, that's good stuff, boys. Wow.
Charlie's there too.
I gotta say, our creative department has upped their game lately, fellas. There's some good stuff going online right now. Some good stuff. Oh, that's awesome.
So that's we'll be getting those out to people. We'll probably give away a few copies on the show. But anyway, Yorkie, you are Mr. July, I believe it is. Graeme,
I get July. Nice.
Yeah, Graeme is August because that's when the tans are really good, and then I'm December because I'm pasty white.
Nice. Hold on, is Charlie like some weird Dalmatian doodle?
Yeah. They didn't have a lot of money in the budget, so they just stuck Charlie's head on it.
Oh my God, poor Charlie. Oh, that's good stuff.
Anyway, so that's one. The other thing I need to ask about before we move forward, I found some stuff online, Graeme.
Yep.
I need to ask you about the time you met Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson? Okay, so this goes back to 2014 playoffs, Columbus, Pittsburgh. You were there, actually. I don't know if you remember.
I know that Weston Gym very well.
So I don't know if you remember me being there. I think we sat at the hotel bar one night. We were having drinks. I was working for Hockey Night in Canada, so some of the Hockey Night producers and crew were there.
I was in bed early. Couldn't have been.
Gary Galley was there with Cassie Campbell, and So at the time, I was working for Hockey Night in Canada, CBC, just doing some stats, font coordination for them for this playoff series. And after the first game, once the first game ends, all of us, like Bob Cole was with me. We're just sitting on the bus, and our shuttle bus driver, who's taking us back to the hotel, says, "Hey, Mike Tyson's staying at your hotel." I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Whatever. And I went out that night after the first game in Pittsburgh and just had a bunch of beers with the guys across the street at a bar called the Copper Penny. Mm-hmm. And probably stayed later than I should have. And it just felt good. Went home, woke up in the morning feeling like crap. And I'm just like, guilty conscious workout. I better get in the gym, work it off or whatever. And going to the gym, don't have my contacts in, don't have my phone. I forget what time in the morning it is, but anyways, I go in. There's nobody in there except for one guy who's running on a treadmill, and I think there's another guy working out in the back in like a yoga studio kind of thing. Anyways, I don't have my contacts in, so I'm not really paying attention to who's around me. I'm just going in and start doing my workout, and then I look over at this guy who's on the treadmill. He's been on the treadmill for like 45 minutes, just hauling ass. And I'm just looking at him. He's not very tall. His calves are like the size of my waist. And I'm just like, and like his shirt is soaked, just soaked through. He's wearing a white shirt, soaked through. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like that's Mike Tyson. Like it dawns on me. I had this revelation that's Mike Tyson. I'm just like, what? Like I'm 100% sure that's Mike Tyson. Anyways. So I'm like, fuck, I don't have my phone. I don't have anything. Don't have my contacts in. I'm like, don't know. So I essentially leave the gym, sprint back to my hotel room, put in my contacts, grab my phone, come back, go back to the gym. He's still running. He runs for like another hour, and he's on the treadmill, and I'm no word of a lie. He's saying, "I the tiger, I the tiger, I the tiger." I'm like, this is the most cliched boxing thing ever. And he's just working out. And then the other guy from the yoga studio comes out. Mike Tyson gets off the treadmill. And I'm not going to be the first. I don't want to be the first guy to talk to him. And this guy starts talking to him. And he says, after like 5 minutes, they're talking like UFC. Mike's there promoting some boxing fight in Pittsburgh. And I think he was throwing out like the ceremonial first pitch for the Pirates that night or whatever. And this guy asked him for a photo. I'm like, perfect. He asked for a photo. He's getting a photo. I can sneak in and do the same thing. And did the same thing. And then Mike Tyson's doing like a shoulder workout right beside me in the gym as I'm doing like bench press and stuff. And it was like the most surreal moment. And the guy kept coming, like the other guy who was in the gym kept coming over and trying to talk to him, chat him up. I'm like, man, I'm just like on workout. But like he was super nice. Like after this guy's bugging, Mike starts chatting me up and asking me like, hey, where are you from? What are you here for? I'm like, from Ottawa, just here doing the hockey game. He's like, I think I'm going to try and go to that series at some point. I'm like, that's great, whatever. And then he's just doing his own thing. And at the end of it, he winds up leaving the gym before me, and he just turns around unprovoked or anything. He's like, have a nice day. Like that Mike Tyson voice. I'm like, Mike Tyson just said, have a nice day. Like what? Like, it was surreal. It was just a surreal moment. And I wound up getting a photo with him, and he was probably about as friendly as he could be for like arguably one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet. It was just a surreal moment where it's just me and another guy and Mike Tyson in the gym in Pittsburgh.
That's probably true, eh? I love the Tyson impersonation, by the way, Graeme. That was pretty good. You brought it up high there for a second. Where'd you guys? If you said top 3 most recognizable sports figures in the world, who'd you go with?
Like Cristiano Ronaldo probably would be one.
I know.
Michael Jordan is still really high.
Yeah, I'd say like Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan.
Tiger Woods for sure. Tiger Woods for sure.
Boxing, yeah. Tyson, obviously. I don't know. Maybe the Pantheon, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird because we're in North America, and we don't watch as much soccer, or at least I. So we're kind of jaded. We're a little bit. Because it's probably if there was a poll, then it would be a couple soccer players for sure. But yeah, Tyson's got to be up there still, especially with that recent fight, with Jake Paul. By the way, man, what a waste!
Don't call it a fight.
What a waste of money that was. Whoever bought that fight.
It was free on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it after. I watched it,
and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever. Anyway.
The highlight of that was just seeing his bare ass, though. Like he gets interviewed and he's talking to his son, and he turns around. You're like, did I just see Tyson's bare ass on TV? And
it was so good. That was a great punk. If that's
Iron Mike didn't think it was weird. Didn't he get 20 million?
Well, yeah. I was going to do another one or something.
Of course he is. Wouldn't you for 20 million?
Oh, absolutely. You could hit me all day long.
You get in there, with your white body there. Big doesn't matter. Take a few in the boiler. You'll be fine. 20 mil.
The milk bag boxing match. Yeah.
Why not?
Yorkie, do you want to get into the Caps, or would you like to get to golf? Do you need to go?
No, I don't have to go. Let's go. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the Caps? Like the biggest surprise in the NHL? Would you say so, Graeme? Probably.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think anybody anticipated that.
I didn't see it coming. It's crazy. Like it's a team of misfits. Like it's
like they don't have this roster of exceptional players, right? Like Alex Ovechkin, obviously, but Dylan Strome had an off year last year, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Pierre-Luc Dubois has been this nomad trying to find a place to play because I don't think he plays an extremely hard brand of hockey.
No.
And Jacob Chychrun, we all know is an offensive talent. He's back. I think he has 12 goals in the season. He's at 14. He looks really good, but that's a team you're like, they traded their goaltender away, if I'm not mistaken. Like, and they still figured out a way to win. I think he's got to be coach of the year.
100%. I like. if not coach of the year, he's right. He'll be in the mix for sure.
Marty St. Louis would be probably in there.
Well, if Montreal makes the playoffs,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Columbus still, maybe another one.
Columbus for sure. Yeah, if Ottawa if Ottawa keeps going the way they're going, like they lead the league in shutouts.
Yep.
If they keep doing what they're doing, the coach of the year conversation is going to be very interesting because there's a lot of we just rhymed off a bunch of teams. We haven't even talked about the teams that are killing it, that are doing great in the standings. We're just talking about the teams we didn't think would be there.
Yorkie, let me point out to you and Graeme as well is we all talked about Ottawa since November 25th, and that's when they really started that tear, if you will. They remain, so it's been 6 weeks. They are tied for 5th overall in the league since then, with actually Montreal. So Edmonton's first. This is winning percentage. Then it's Washington, Vegas, LA, Montreal, Ottawa, tied for 5th. They've looked really, really good. Now, Washington's looked really good, but Ottawa has stayed neck and neck with all these teams. And if you look at tonight's game, in that same stretch, Ottawa's 4th in goals against, 1st in save percentage. Washington's 3rd in goals against, 5th in save percentage. The point to that is, I don't know how high a scoring game this is going to be.
Yeah, watch them throw up 10 goals in this game. Yeah. If you look at these stats, it shouldn't be. But you never know with Ottawa. Like they throw up 5 when you don't think they're going to throw up any, and then it's I just like the way they're playing. I don't know about you, Graeme. It just seems this team now is built an identity. They know what they need to do to win. They've tightened it up. Their neutral zone play is black and white, different than it was years past. What we're used for. The back checking is much better. If you watch, how many times we talked about this? You remember this team, the way they used to get scored on? There'd be a guy wide open in front of that. Like, well, why is that guy so open? Now there's like 4 guys in front of the net, and sometimes a guy gets into a soft seam and he scores. But for the most part, this team's structure and the way they defend is much, much better. And that's a big reason why they got a lot more shutouts. Like the goalies, you heard about the goaltenders we were talking about. Well, how come you get a shutout? Why did you get the win? Well, the shots are very predictable now. And when the shots are predictable, it's a lot easier for the goaltenders to make saves.
I feel like the Senators have done like a really good job this year of not playing to the score either. Like in years past, it's like, if the opposition would get a goal or two, Ottawa kind of scramble, turn it into an offensive mode team and give up a little more on the defensive end. I think like regardless of what the score situation is, I think Ottawa is doing a much better job of adhering to their structure and sticking to it, and they're just finding ways to grind out games and just chip away at leads when they're down, and then just holding on to leads when they actually do get them. It's just, I think it's a testament to the coaching staff for instilling some discipline and structure where there just hasn't been enough of that in the past.
Yeah. No cheating. They don't remember that years past. I remember talking to Claude Julien about this. Claude, I ran into him somewhere and we were talking about the Sens, and he said something that really stuck out to me. He goes, problem with the Sens, he goes, they're way too far apart. He goes, when there's a turnover, there's all this space in the neutral zone. And now when you watch them, like the gaps are better. The forwards, Graeme, when they back check, they're relentless now on their back check. And I'll just tell you as a defenseman, well, I've talked about this 100 times on the show. When you're a defenseman and your forwards back pressure like this, it makes the game so much easier because you can stand up on guys because you have that back support. And I think that's been one of Travis's biggest strengths, getting the forwards to work and buy into the system he's got going now.
It's also their 1-goal games, right? They're now winning a lot more close games where they don't collapse, I'll say mentally. 1-goal games this season, 10-4-3. And then if you add the 2 goals in, they're 14-7-3. They're no longer being blown out of games.
Well, the best teams win because their best players work hard. And like, why do you think the Rangers struggle? Well, their top players don't back check all the time. Like you can't play like that anymore in the NHL and win consistently. And you got Brady Tkachuk back. Like, how many times has Travis Green talked about Tim Stützle, the way he's now coming back, playing like a 200-foot player? That's how you win. When your best players play with a fourth line mentality on the defensive side of pucks, that's when you've got something.
Yeah, I agree with that. If your skilled players are also some of your hardest working, I think that's when you're laughing. You're cruising.
Yep.
Yorkie, remember we always used to joke about whenever Ottawa got the lead when you guys were playing, You just never gave it up. Ottawa 17-3 when scoring first.
Yeah. Well, it's because of the way they play. They don't give you much, and once you get up, the other team has to work so hard. Like, just picture this: like, you hear Travis Green say this word. He goes, "We need to be on top of pucks. We're on top of the play." And what he means by that is when a lot of times in their old system, I call it dive bombing, Graham. They'd go on the forecheck and two guys would dive bomb and they'd get on the wrong side of the puck, which means their defensemen are now closer to the net than the Senators guys are. Now they're on top of players. So it's really difficult to get through the neutral zone when you have guys on top of you all the time. It's like, just instead of just the defense you got to get to, you've got to get through 2-3 forwards, it's really tough to play against that. And that's what Ottawa does. They make the neutral zone is so much more important than people think. And when you don't dive bomb and you stay on top of people, it's just such a smart way to play.
Yeah, I thought their two games, especially like one of the most recent ones, Dallas. Like, I thought their neutral zone playing against Dallas was like phenomenal.
Yeah,
and I had the luxury of sitting in front of the Dallas Stars play-by-play guys as they were covering that game, and like you could hear the disdain and frustration from those guys over the course of the game. And it's just like by the third period, they're just like they were despondent. They're just like, nothing is working. They can't even connect the pass right now, and it was. You could hear the frustration at that level. It's just Ottawa did such a good job of just creating turnovers and just disrupting the breakouts, and just there were no clean entries. It was great. It was like textbook hockey. It was exactly what you needed when you have the lead, protect it and go. And that was probably one of the best played games of the season for the Ottawa.
I agree, Graham. Especially that second period. It was so good. Ottawa they were so connected. It's another Travis Green buzzword. We were connected tonight, but it just means everybody's connected means everybody's doing their job the same way. Because you get in hockey, you get one guy not doing his job. Like if your F1 doesn't forecheck properly, all of a sudden it doesn't matter. Nothing works. So I agree. This team's been very, very connected.
I love it.
Buzzwords, coach words, Wally.
I love it. Meaningful games, connected. All right. This show is always proudly presented to you by Charm Diamond Centers. More than 85 locations across Canada through Charm and her sister brands. Canadian owned and operated since 1972. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece program and unbeatable pricing policy. Check out a large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds and mine diamonds, and don't pay. If you use the Charm Diamond Flexity card today, you get approved for no interest financing on your purchase. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com. Check them out online, by the way. 50% off a lot of their stuff right now as you get set for Valentine's Day. And, of course, this show is a proud presenting sponsor with Gabriel Pizza, the official pizza of the Ottawa Senators, and, of course, you're coming in hot. Get Gabriel Pizza perks when you order on the app. Don't forget, the Sens can score 4 tonight against one of the best defensive teams in the league. It'll be good. You will also get 40% off any 9-inch pizza with the Sens Score 4 promo. That's when you download the Gabriel Pizza app. The day after the Sens Score 4, let's hope it's tonight against the Washington Capitals, who come in, by the way, with points in 8 straight games. Quickly, a little bit of an update. Donovan Sabrango has been recalled as they sent Max Gannett back yesterday. We'll find out here at 10:30 when the Sens take to the ice. I'm not so sure Thomas Shabbat is in the lineup after taking that puck in the mouth yesterday or 2 days ago.
That'd be a huge blow. That'd be a huge blow.
That was nasty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Have you has there been another up? There's no update, Wally?
They didn't skate yesterday, so there's no update. So we'll only find out at 10:30 if he's on the ice.
Got it right in the mouth, eh? He got the puck in the mouth.
Yeah.
So he's getting some major dental work done for sure. Probably a ton of stitches inside his mouth, which is brutal. Yeah. The good thing out of all that, usually when you get hit in the mouth, you don't get a concussion. So if there's a positive in that, because I was once sitting on the bench, guys. This was brutal. It actually happened against the Washington Capitals. We were playing the Washington Capitals, and at the time, who was the coach back then? It might have been Perry Pern. Anyways, I'm sitting there talking to Perry about a play. Somebody shoots the puck into our bench, and I was turned. The puck hit me in the puck got me in the temple. I dropped on the bench, had to leave the game, and then because you get hit in a certain spot on your head, you can get concussed. So I was down, had to leave the game, missed a couple games for getting hit with a puck on the bench. Kind of like the days, remember, was it Pascal Leclerc that used to get injured on the bench all the time?
Yeah.
Had to get plastic surgery.
Yeah, you got to be careful on the bench. Like there's friggin' pucks are flying in there.
It broke his cheekbone or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky. I got mine right in the temple.
I am shocked more guys don't get hit.
Yeah.
Like, seriously hurt.
Especially coaches. But anyhow, with Shabbat, hopefully I don't think it's concussion or anything. It's probably root canals and all the stuff and the stitches. It's just when you get hit like that, it's just miserable for about 2 weeks. It's so bad getting hit in the mouth.
Josh Norris said the same thing when he got the hit with Quinn Hughes behind the net. There's been him, Tim Stützle's taking a puck in the eye, if you will. Brady, Drake Batherson. You know what? It's time to go put on a cage.
I used to say this with all the technology because the old saying was, well, you need to see the expressions on the pros' faces when they play, and can you make some kind of like bubble to put around your head so you can see their face like a little?
You're right. The guy in the 300 level is looking for the expression on the face.
Yeah, it's so crazy now because it's because of the sticks. Like before,
right?
When I was in front of the net, I could tell. So if the guy was loading up at the point, I could tell if it was going to be a hard shot or a light shot. Because if my forward pressured him, I knew he wasn't going to have time to slap it. Because back then, the sticks don't have the kick they do. Anybody can shoot the puck hard now. You don't have to be strong, and you don't need a lot of time anymore. So that's why I think you're seeing more and more guys get pucks in the face. Like the pucks come off these sticks so fast, and guys they're in tight. They've got 75 flexes, and it's never been more dangerous to be in front of the net now, because a lot of guys shoot high now too, Graeme. You notice that? A lot of deep.
Well, the goalies are so big now. It's like when they go down in the butterfly. Yeah. Guys
go high. Where before, if a guy went high, even his own teammates would give him shit. Because what are you doing? Don't shoot high and you get a puck in the head. But now it's like, shoot it high. You're going to score.
Yeah. We may have a picture of the Shabbat injury. I've debated showing it, but I'm going to.
Let's see it. I want to see it.
I got Jake has to get it first. I've held off putting it in. Anyway, we'll get to it in a sec.
How bad is it? How bad is it?
Well, he's covering his mouth because it's 9 a.m. I don't want to freak everybody out. But he was leaking pretty good. Guys are hammering pucks in there. I'm just shocked that more guys don't eat pucks. Like Sidney Crosby broke his jaw right off the side of the net, off a deflection. It's just. Would players ever agree to go to a cage?
No. Guys love having. Guys have a big thing. It's that spot between your nose. It's your lower vision on the puck. Yeah. You do it does make it a little tougher to see. And guys, I just remember when I didn't wear a visor, and when I got to the NHL or I got to pro, you feel so cool when you have no mask on. It's just like it's almost like a rite of passage. Like, okay, now it's you go, now I've earned this.
I'd put them on in junior. Like I know the CCHL went to it for age, right? I would like to, I don't know why junior players, if you can wear it up until junior, then there's no different. You can still wear it. Anyway.
Well, it's so stupid too, because most guys play junior, at least in the CCHL, to try and get a scholarship. When you get a scholarship, you go to a U.S. college, you got to wear full cage. It makes no sense. I fought forever to try and get full cages in the CCHL. They wouldn't do it. It's so stupid. It's just you got guys losing their teeth for no reason. Even U Sports hockey, guys are wearing half visors.
Yeah, like beer league, it doesn't make sense to me at all. You see it all the time. And
it's beer league's the worst because there's always a bunch of yahoos out there with the sticks up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go. Here's the Thomas Shabbat picture. So just look at the reaction of Drake Batherson and Josh Norris. Like they're like, holy shit. So I just feel bad for Shabby to like, fuck, that hurts.
Yeah, it doesn't feel nice. I'll tell you that. You ever got a puck in the mouth, Graeme?
No, I wear a full cage. So that's never happened. There's been so many instances though where you get clipped with a high stick or a puck bounces off the rattles your cage and you're just like, holy shit. Like, I don't know. I like
the worst I ever got was I was playing junior and a guy got hit And when he got hit, he spun around, lost control, and he two-handed me right across the mouth. I was so scared taking off my mouth guard. I'm taking off my mouth guard. I'm like, okay, all my teeth are going to be lying in this mouth guard when I take it off. But magically, when I took the mouth guard off, my teeth were all loose. And then about a month later, they tightened back up. But yeah, there's every single instance. There's so much shit going on in hockey. Like it's I don't think it's ever been more dangerous than it is now for getting pucks in the mouth.
Fully agreed. Let's move on to the game. Quickly, I just want to know, do you think Alex Ovechkin, currently mired in the worst scoring slump of the season since the start of the year? He has 1 goal in his last 5 games. Against the Ottawa Senators, he has 36 goals in his career in 57 games. Does Ovi continue the march tonight as he needs 21 goals? Does he find the back of the net?
What do you think, Graeme?
Ooh. I'm kind of nervous about the diamond penalty kill with Ovi on that left side, because it seems like they give a lot of time and space to those guys when he's playing that side on the power play. So I don't know. I'm going to say no. I don't want the angry text. I'm going to say no.
Well, if Shabby's out, it's one more void in that lineup. So I'm going to say yes, he scores.
Oh, your boy Montpalo's going to be over on that side blocking shots, Wally. Big body, 6'4", get in the shooting lane, getting down and dirty.
I would like to know by the end of the night how much ice time Nick Montpalo has against Alex Ovechkin. I'm not sure. It's going to be very high.
Ovi just got to be aware where he is at all times. Like, he's not going to burn you anymore with speed wide. He's going to usually pull up and try and shoot it and drift off to an open. You just got to be really aware of when he's on the ice. But yeah, Montpalo is probably not going to see. But if Shabby's out, Clevitt will be the next guy killing penalties, because his last game, I know you guys talked about it a little bit yesterday. Man, was he ever good in that last game? Like, that was almost like a coming out party for him.
Yeah, by far the best game of his year, of his season.
Really good.
Jake Sanderson will play 85 minutes tonight in a 60-minute game.
Yeah. I'll say Ovi doesn't score. Oh, no goals for Ovi.
Oh, okay. But this is a potential first-round playoff matchup. So Yorkie, mindset of a hockey player, it's game 43. So is there any thought of we may face this team in the playoffs in game 43?
No, they're not thinking about that right now. They're just thinking such boring thoughts right now. And it's that's why they're winning, because they just Travis has he's got these guys trained. It's like, just playing Washington tonight. Here's our team meeting. Let's do power play, penalty kill. What do we need to do to win? These guys are in a very good routine. There's not a chance they're thinking about who they're going to play in the playoffs. And it's just, how do we beat these guys tonight?
Wally, I meant to ask you, like, going back even over the course of the season, like hot stretches, cold stretches, even when they lost like 5 in a row. I know there was the game where they lost like 4-3 to Vancouver. You could hear a pin drop in that room afterwards. But like, to me, over the course of this full season, whether you're at practice, after games, everything, the vibe has kind of stayed at one level. Like, I've been impressed with it. I don't know. I was curious to see if you felt the same, or
that stretch in November, I will say, was what's going on right now? There was nobody wanted to talk, nobody had any answers, but it's absolute, the vibe is very good. It's just very loose. It's just like a team. They could either be first or in the spot they're in now. They just seem to be playing what's next. Let's go. I do say mentally they're a different club than they have been in the past, for sure. Okay.
That's all I got to say about that.
Jacob Chychrun returns to the Canadian Tire Center tonight. Always brings up plenty of a discussion when it becomes who won the Nick Jensen Jacob Chychrun trade. Again, I will say there is no real, I don't think there's a winner in this trade. I think it actually benefits both teams. Yorkie, we've discussed this ad nauseum. Jacob Chychrun didn't fit in Ottawa. Now, the only caveat to that is, would you take Chychrun over Thomas Shabbat? I think is the answer, right? Like, that's probably the only debate there is. Nick Jensen plays on the right side. I know he's 34, all that stuff, but he completely filled a void you needed, as opposed to having Jacob Chychrun, another left shot D.
Yeah. Jacob Chychrun has the best seam one-time slap shot in the NHL for defensemen. that seam coming through when he one times it is, he does that as good as anybody, any defenseman in the league. That's his bread and butter. Power play. I like him. He's a really, really good player. And when we went through this 1,000 times, it just wasn't a good fit in Ottawa for a bunch of different reasons. Like, they didn't need another offensive guy, and the defensive game is not Jacob's strength. It isn't. And that just wasn't a fit. And the way Nick Jensen plays, it's just, I would say they won't be determined until the season's over, like who won this trade. But the thing is, the season Chychrun's having, he's gonna get paid. And if they would have waited to make that move, you probably wouldn't have got a guy like Jensen coming in. And if you would have held him, you would have had to pay him. And like, you can't afford to bring in another D and pay him he's gonna get over $8 million. He's gonna get over $8 million.
Absolutely.
So that's
in real cash this year, Yorkie. I think he's getting $7 million.
Yeah. So it's just a non-starter for. I don't know why people keep talking about it. You couldn't have fit him in to your current structure of players, and it's worked out. It's worked out brilliantly for both teams. He's been great. He's going to get paid. What Nick Jensen has done coming in, not only has he played great. Look at Thomas Shabbat. He's having his best season in the NHL. Absolutely. In my opinion, he's having his best season. He looks great, and that has largely to do because now the pecking order of the defense is just it's great, and that's because of the trade. So this has been good for everybody. But at the end of the day, they were smart to deal him sooner than later because, like, just think right now, how many teams would love to trade for a right shot defenseman? You can't get them. So Stales was really smart to get ahead of it. Trade somebody, you got to give to get, and he got something. And Jensen's salary, think about this. If you went around the NHL, how many right shot defensemen can do what Jensen does for that salary?
I think you're talking about guys like Dylan DeMello. Like, you're kind of in that mold, right? Where guys can play.
Rasmus Anderson has a great salary in Calgary, but I'd say bang for the buck, the season Jensen's having, I don't know if there's another right shot defenseman in the league that can give you that game for that dollar value. So to me, I think Ottawa won the trade, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Would you make the trade now, trading Nick Jensen and a third for Jacob Chychrun?
Of course I would. Because it's
no, to Ottawa.
To Ottawa?
If you're right now, would you trade with Washington to acquire Jacob Chychrun for Nick Jensen?
Why would I?
Well, if you just flip it, then people aren't going to accept the trade.
Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The trade has been great. Ottawa's on they're in a position now they haven't been in 7 years. So anybody that thinks this wasn't a good trade is on crack.
Yeah. No, to further Yorkie's point, Jacob Chychrun's got 12 goals, 30 points in 37 games. Like, his shooting percentage is double what it was in Ottawa last season. It's just almost double. So it's like his numbers should theoretically regress as the season goes on. Like, this is him playing at a level where everything's going right in Washington. And it's kind of a microcosm of Washington's season. It's like their defensive metrics and shot metrics are pretty good, but they're not great. But right now they're surviving on goaltending, and they have one of the best shooting percentages in the league. And eventually, over time, that number should come back normalized to league average. And they could be a team in the second half where they start to lose a bunch more games than they did in the first half. And I think with Chychrun, to Yorkie's point, this is a guy where everything's going right for him. He is going to get a boatload of money based off the numbers that you find on the back of a hockey card, goals, points, everything else. He's going to get paid. That's probably a contract you don't want to sign and have long-term as this guy gets into his 30s. It's just his defensive metrics aren't great. He's an offensive guy. Would he help Ottawa's power play right now? Yeah, probably. But with that exception, I would take the all-around player over Jacob Chychrun any day of the week, especially because of the cost involved.
The reason it works, the reason it's working so well, and because people don't understand, they just look at points and stats and all this. The NHL is largely to do with opportunity and how your team is made up. And for Ottawa, you already had your left shot guys in Shabbat and Sanderson. If you look at the Washington Capitals makeup, their best defenseman is a right shooting John Carlson, and their best offensive guy by far on the left side is Jacob Chychrun. So he doesn't have that internal competition where you're always battling for who's going to get on that power play, who's going to get the offense, who's the coach going to put over the boards for that offensive zone draw, who's going to be on the last minute when you need a goal, who's going to be in situations to succeed offensively. Like Jacob, he's not as good as Jake Sanderson, and Sanderson had taken over that role. Plus, you got Shabbat. So the whole thing of the trade ever happening was stupid in the first place.
Agreed. Let's get on to picking tonight's game, and we don't have Charlie's choice. We'll have to suffer through it. Maybe Graeme can fill in for Charlie. Yorkie, take care of some business since you've joined us if you want, or
All right.
I can just do the job as usual.
I'll do it. Why not?
All right.
I'm coming here, working on my holidays, Wally. The things I do for you.
I can't afford the overtime.
I know. Where do you see the bill that's coming in? BEI. Thanks to our good friends at BEI. For equipment rentals, aggregate topsoil sales, custom crushing, screening, and hot mix paving. They can do it all. So when you're planning your next project, please consider BEI for all your supply needs. And you can get them at bonishexcavating.com. Or give them a call at 613-432-1120. BEI is helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. And please remember, people, to slow down those construction zones.
And of course, our show proudly presented to you by proud presenting sponsor, Bet365. Open an account today with Bet365. Bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code NATION. That's NATION. Must be 19 years of age or older. Please play responsibly. Download the app today for all the best odds. Check in on the they have a bet boost parlay. So here's our look today. Ottawa comes in facing Washington. The bet boost today is Jacob Chychrun, 3 shots on goal. I think he's gonna be jacked for this one. Drake Batherson, 3 shots on goal. Both teams to score at least 2 goals. Plus 900.
I think it should be, what is Chychrun having for his pregame meal? Is it going to be like beef heart or some kind of deer kidneys? Or
he's just going to put a cow down in the field and just rip him apart. Yeah.
Oh my God! What a crazy! What is it? What was it called? The caveman diet? What was he on?
Yeah, something to that effect.
Something like that. Oh my God! What do you think on these? What are you betting here, Wally?
Well,
you've been pretty good at this.
I'm not very good at all. If we were to check into the score of the Challenge Cup, I'm way behind. I'm going to take a Washington victory.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Going with the Capitals, eh?
If they don't have Thomas Shabbat, that's a huge void, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Second, that's a pretty good Washington Capitals team, right? Like I think it's tough.
Do we know who's starting in goal yet for the Ottawa Senators?
No, but you got to figure.
Yeah.
Has to be Marilyn, right?
It's got to be.
Just let it ride.
By the way, Marilyn can become the 4th rookie goalie in franchise history with a winning streak of 4 or more games to join Brian Elliott, Ray Emery, and Yanni Herme.
Oh, Yanni Herme.
Do you think if they win tonight with Marilyn, do you think they'd allow him to go back-to-back this weekend again?
No.
You go back to that.
No
you
chance.
Go back. So you're tonight. We're Thursday tonight, and then back-to-backs on the way. Yeah, I think Forsberg gets the net for one of these games, Graeme. Imagine if he. I know he's young. If you got another goalie hurt, man, that puts you in a bad spot. It's the problem is points. You got to keep up, right? And you got to put your best foot forward every game. So
that Boston game's huge.
I think Boston is Forsberg.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But I agree. Marilyn is going to play tonight for sure, and then Forsberg gets the net for one of these games on the weekend.
Okay, so who are you taking in tonight's game, Jason York?
Oh my God, I got to think about this. Do we know for sure that Shabbat's out?
We do not. And also, Nick Jensen has been battling, I believe it's a knee injury now for a bit. So that pairing is a little banged up, if you will. I don't know that Thomas Shabbat is out for sure.
Yeah. He's probably going to be out. I think maybe Ottawa loses this one. I'll take Washington as well.
I think if Shabbat's in, Ottawa wins.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, but you don't get to. all right. So are you taking Washington or Ottawa right now? We don't get to just wait around.
I'm taking Ottawa. I'll say 3-1.
Oh,
empty net goal for the insurance marker.
So Yorkie, what do you think Charlie's going to say?
I don't know. Charlie needs to be present and get all the information. She takes it in, and then it's a quick decision. So she's not wrong. Like, she knows what she's doing. She would probably. We'll have to wait. She's getting a much needed vacation.
Okay. By the way, Drake Batherson enjoys playing against the Washington Capitals. 7 goals, 11 points in 10 games for him. And Brady Tkachuk, who needs one more multi-point game for 100 in his career, which would put him past Danny Heatley and into sole possession of 5th for most multi-point games in Ottawa Senator history. Just for fun, Daniel Alfredson has 281 multi-point games. Next on the list is Jason Spezza, who's 98 behind at 183.
Wow.
Yeah. By the way, Brady Tkachuk, if you were to bet on a guy scoring a goal against or a point, he's got 12 points in his career against the Washington Capitals. 2 goals, 12 points in 14 games, 4 points in his last 2.
Jesus. I can't believe I'm still looking at the standings, and I'm still in amazement that they're 29, 10, and 5, the Washington Capitals. And because you just look at that roster, you're like, where is it coming from?
I know.
Like on paper, that lineup doesn't scare you, but then they just
deep forward group though. Like Andrew Mangiapane's a great player. Like he's playing a depth role.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Great.
Like, so we talk about in the last 6 weeks, since November 25th, the last 24 games, Jacob Chychrun leads them in scoring, 22 points. Pierre-Luc Dubois is second. Tom Wilson has 13 goals in his last 24 games. That's where, like, they're just finding it from everybody. Dylan Strome has 6 goals. Chychrun's got 7. Like, I think they're just being able to do it by committee.
Alexi Protas as well. Like, holy, it's just lots of points coming from depth guys. It's crazy. Connor
and Logan Thompson, who's the snub, right, for the Four Nations. He's like 19, 2, and 3. Thanks to Jake. Like, that's pretty good.
It's amazing when you in the NHL when you have your whole roster chipping in. It just makes your team so much tighter because everybody knows they're part of it. Like, you look at some teams and they just continually play their top guys over and over again. It's tough on the bottom guys. Washington just seems like a team that's it's deep, and they've empowered their 3rd and 4th lines. So it's gonna be a good one tonight.
All right, we'll see how this plays out. Graeme, are you with me at the rink this morning?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and go to the rink. I don't think I'm gonna go to the game tonight, but I'll see you at the rink in an hour.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay.
So Yorkie, you enjoy your day on the course. Is there money?
Pickleball.
Oh, pickleball.
Yeah, and maybe a little cocktail by the pool.
Nice.
All right. Well, you work on your tan. We'll be back here holding it down. We'll see you on Monday, Yorkie. Thanks, Graeme, for filling in. See you at the rink shortly. Thanks, everybody.
No worries.
Take care.
Thanks. Take care.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.